Everyone, I believe we are live. Just let me know in the chat if you can see and hear me. It's been a long time since we've done a show, so it's good to be back, but probably got a lot of events to talk about. I think we've done quite a bit since we've last been on. But if anybody in the chat can see here, if you just let me know, you can see and hear me, please. We've had a few problems going live tonight anyway. Nobody could hear. I couldn't hear Russ. Russ couldn't hear me. So I'm just hoping that we're live in the chat and you can see me, hear me. If anybody, let me know, please. Is there anybody out there? Can anybody hear me? See me? Can't tell if I'm live.
Gremlins in the machine.
We must have, because I've got nobody coming back. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Cheers, Sandra. Thanks, Maz. Good evening. Good evening.
Right, okay. Right. We are live on YouTube.
Good.
Right, that can go off. Right, bear with me again.
Okay. So I think we've had a few issues this evening. It's probably because we haven't done it for so long. But, well, I've got a lot to talk about tonight. Got 3 events to talk about, I reckon, in a couple of weekends. But we've definitely got Sandwich Guildhall to talk about, then followed by Waltham Town Hall, then followed by a couple of weeks ago the Shepton Saga. Yeah, wow. 3 very, very good and different events, but they were good. They were good. Everyone was different, and I know Russ probably, we worked different groups, or we had 2 in one case, but yeah, been very good. Hope
Right.
you've had good weeks, everyone.
Right. 1 2 1 2. Can I hear you?
Can you hear me?
Yes. Right. Let's go. Here we go. No, I'm not. What's it doing now? It's not allowing me on. Oh my God. This is terrible tonight.
Probably because we ain't done it for a long time.
Okay. 1 2 1 2 1 2.
Can hear you.
Yeah, but the stupid mix is not working to broadcast. 1 2 1 2. Yes, we are. Right, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. I've been ready for us. Been talking to people.
Yeah.
Free.
Desktop. Right. Let's go. Are you ready, everybody? Oh,
I'm ready.
Come on. Come on.
What, Russ sounds
As
strange?
a duly designated representative of the city, I order you to
Yeah, I will do.
supernatural activity and return forthwith to your place of origin or to the nearest convenient parallel dimension.
Whoa. Just hold up 1 minute now. It's not who you're going to call, but it's who you're going to listen to. And if you ain't afraid of no ghosts, stay tuned. Paranormal.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We are back. We are back. Sorry, we are around about 10 minutes late. It has been absolutely carnage for some strange reason. The hardware seems to have gone down. We don't know why. Need to look into it. We are broadcasting a different way, but we are live. We're back on all your normal platforms. We're back on Facebook. Pulse Talk Radio, YouTube, you name it. We are coming live. Welcome, welcome, one and all. Gremlins in the machine. I don't think it's even Mercury retrograde, is it? I didn't think Mercury retrograde was due into sort of at the beginning to next year.
Oh, don't start that malarkey.
You might get a few echoes, guys. You might not. It all depends how it goes. Just bear with us, and we will get through the show tonight, hook or by crook. But once again, I am joined by my wonderful, wonderful co-host, Mr. Simon Cardy.
Hi, mate. All right? How do?
All good. All good in the hood. Working totally different tonight. You are connected by Bluetooth somehow, some way. I don't know what's going on. I need to check the wires, things like that. Could be my laptop. Just don't seem like the head jack is working. So it could be anything and
Could be spirit,
anything.
but it ain't Mercury retrograde. Not yet.
Thank God for that. Thank God for that. Let's just start off with, I just want to make a sort of a little mini announcement, guys. The Journey Through the Unexplained talk show, Thursday night show, it is just taking a little bit of a sabbatical at the moment. We will be back after Christmas. There is just a few issues at the moment that is going on. And all I want to say is that everybody from EGH, Journey Through the Unexplained, is with Paul and his family at this time.
Yeah,
okay, but all right, so we are all with you, Paul. But Journey Through the Unexplained will be back. We're not going anywhere. We're just taking a little bit of a time out. So after Christmas, to go from there. All right, but please just bear with us. But me and Simon will be here every Friday up until Christmas. We're going to try and do up until Christmas. We are here. We're back. There's going to be a terrible echo here and there, guys. So I do apologise, but it's something that can't be helped tonight. But please, please, just bear with us. Bear with us. Let's say hello. Who is watching? We've got a few. We've got a few. The lovely Sandra is watching. The Marianne Dixon is watching. Mickey, all the way from Spain, is watching. Ling Bingham is watching. Katie Smith is watching. Welcome, welcome, one and all. But I'm just going to go to this one before we start, as you know. An avid listener of the EGH show and good friend of ours. He's eating Chinese at the World Food Buffet. I'm on plate number 5 and feeling positive that I may beat my personal best. But
Jim, don't make yourself ill for the morning, mate.
Do not make yourself ill. But just while we're on that subject, Jim and Natalie both own the Reptile Hut and the Bud Hut at White Elm Garden Centre. So if you do own any reptiles, or I think you're called invertebrates as well, aren't they? Am I saying that correct? So please, for all your reptile needs, please make sure that your first point of call is the Reptile Hut or the Bug Hut at White Elm Garden Centre. They are the most loveliest, honest and welcoming people that I can actually say. Their knowledge is above and beyond all expectations. So if you've got any problems, please make sure that you are either following them on Facebook, Instagram, and your first point of call is to them because they are fantastic. All right.
Plate number 6 needs to be looked at, Jim.
I can't hear. I'm struggling to hear Simon because of this horrible sound. But plate number 6, I think there was something being said. So,
Yeah.
But it's only my end anyway. It's only my end because I think it sounds pretty clear on all platforms. So it's
The
just
sound isn't great on YouTube, apparently, Russ.
yeah. You're just gonna have to bear with us just for tonight. There's nothing I can do. There is no sound that I can get other than this at the moment. So please just bear with us. I say it is going to be for tonight only to I can run some tests to see what is calling it. Is it just a dirty lead, or is it a setting on probably something on my laptop that is probably not allowing me to do something. But until I sort of look into it, who knows? Now I have lost everything, which isn't great. This is unbelievable. What is happening to the system tonight? Seriously. Oh my
Can
God.
everybody still hear us?
Can you still hear me? Because I can't see anything. I've lost everything. So never mind. Let me try. That's it. You're back. You're back. I do apologise, everybody. But let's try and get to the show tonight. As Simon said, we have got a hell of a lot to talk about. I do think that we've got about 3 events, I think, that we could end up talking about, I think.
Yeah, Guildhall, Waltham Town Hall, and then Shepton. And each one of them carried some brilliant stuff. Well,
where was our first port of call? Let's start at the beginning.
Guildhall.
Sandwich Guildhall.
That was our first one.
Right, I can't remember that one.
Oh, I think you should because that was your chair.
We can't talk about that.
Well, you can, but it could be any chair, couldn't it?
You can't talk about that. And we'll talk about the séance. Yes, I'll be happy to talk about the séance. But other than that, I'm not talking about the chair.
But the séance was very good, wasn't it?
It
wasn't there. It was very good.
The evidence has all been documented on camera. So this will be a very exciting episode when it drops on YouTube, because I know Paul has caught it all on camera. Now, we conducted a séance, a very controlled séance at the beginning. Now, we was around oak tables, and these tables lifted. They lifted and come down with a bang. All the guests around that table saw that. I think Paul has caught it on camera, which is amazing. But the most extraordinary thing about it all was who that we had made contact with. Well, the energy who it was portraying itself was. Now, we controlled the questions. One of our guests, Andy, controlled the questions in a way. It was unbelievable. It was Admiral Lord Nelson. The famous Lord Nelson was, and the table separated too. Yes, you must have. It must have been Sandra and Maz that was with me then. Was it?
Yeah, I was with H
and J.
Yes.
Right. Okay. So, yes. So Maz, you're in the chat. You've reminded the table separated and everything. Now, when asking this energy who he was, he confirmed his name was Admiral Lord Nelson. Now we believe looking at it was Thomas Hardy was his first mate.
Kiss Me Hardy.
Kiss Me Hardy. Yeah. Now Andy did an experiment where he said to the energy around the table, could you please confirm who was your first mate? Was it A, Peter Hardy? Nothing. Was it B, Johnny Hardy? Nothing. Was it Simon Hardy? Nothing. And then he went, was it Thomas Hardy? And the table lifted and come down. So at that point, we've got a controlled answer for a controlled way. Then we went again, okay, and we asked Lord Nelson, was the name of your ship the Mary Rose? Nothing. Was the name of your ship Titanic? Nothing. Was the name of your ship Victory? And it lifted. It lifted. We asked another experiment. Is your ship still afloat? No or yes? Now, in theory, no, his ship isn't afloat. But his ship is based at the historic dockyard in Portsmouth. Victory is based at the historic dockyard at Portsmouth. HMS Victory. As Maz was saying, the responses was to the questions as well was going at certain points. Maz, I do believe Maz and a couple of people around the table were beginning to feel their arms missing, or one arm, or something, a problem with their shoulder, which also ties in with Admiral Nelson. Now, the one thing that is quite interesting, that the ship, I think I'm saying it right, it is a ship at HMS at the historic dockyard, is still an active vessel.
Right, okay.
That is why you cannot investigate it, because it is still a military ship.
Wow. Okay.
Based, so if we did have to go, God forbid, if we have to go to war and then we run out of ships, I'm assuming it would be the last possible ship out at the dock. But
I would hope so.
HMS Victory is still a fightable ship. How? I don't really know, but it is. Now, probably one of the most extraordinary seances that I've ever been part of. Now, yes, I've done seances where we've had the tables move and lift, but I would probably say it's the most famous person that I've communicated with. I can't think of anybody more famous than Lord in my history of investigating and being a medium, that I've never spoke to any. We've come across, I think Amber Lynn, haven't we?
Yeah.
We've come across the Craze. Sorry,
Dick Turpin.
But I suppose Lord Nelson, for the stature he has in this, our history books, is probably up there. Now, I'm not, you're when the video goes live, you'll categorically see me sort of questioning how that made me feel, because I didn't really grasp it at the time. It was like, if I'm actually talking to this gentleman, then wow, just wow. And it was probably one of the most, it helped, not helped, but the group that I had at that time was just amazing. They really embraced it, and they sort of, not like I lead them on board, but they actually listened and they asked the questions. They had the nous over me to question how can we make this definitive as we can. And it was all to do with Andy's questioning that he knew a little bit about Admiral Nelson. It was just too good for me. And that's what probably I suppose if coming up to the new year, that we'll do a look back on the new year. But I think that's up there for me as the best bit of activity I've witnessed.
Yeah, but Sandwich did it last year, and
It's a hidden gem.
Yeah, it didn't let us down this year because in the groups that I was leading, we had in that new. Well, I'm saying it's a new part. It's the new hall. We had some fantastic evidence. And we had the witches. We got witches. We got names. We got dates. I still haven't followed them up yet, but I need to. And then when we went down into the court bit, because we did twice there, didn't we? The way the groups work, we had to work the area twice. So I didn't get to do the bit that you did, but I'd never had the REM pod working like it, so much so that in the first session, it just wouldn't stop going off. And it was responding to questions. And I thought, and I'm not usually one that will question anything like that, but I thought, it's got to be the batteries. It's got to be the batteries. So when we broke, I took that REM pod, I changed the batteries, I reset it all, I put it back, and it did exactly the same thing in the next session. Now, explain that one. I've never seen it working. I've never seen it working like that. I've never seen it working since that. But the courtroom again was really good. We had a lot of things there. And I think I got taken in that courtroom. And not a lot gets to me, as you know. But I think I was actually taken and wanted to push people back. And then when Andy, poor old Andy, come down, I think it went from me in the next group to him. And he got exactly what I was getting. He wanted all the women down one end. We'd actually worked out that it was the other way round, so the court would have been the other way round. A hidden gem. The Guildhall, Sandwich Guildhall, is a hidden gem.
It's a gift. It really is a lovely little venue.
Yes. Brilliant venue.
It's a lovely little venue, that is.
Yeah. So
you can't explain it, but it is a lovely little venue. For anyone who, if you do, can go there, go and have a look at it. It's well set up, gives you nice little areas. Say, me, Maz, and Sandra, just like you never had to do your area, we never didn't, which is fine. We never did the court area, but I managed to sneak down for sort of 10 minutes into your group when Mrs. A was doing the board.
Yeah. Which
was, nice. It's such a little, good.
Like it. Never.
No, I can't. But I don't know. There's a bit, isn't there? There's the big main hall up there.
That's what we did, and that's where we got the witches. And they had all the women underneath, like the light bit there was a circle. They had all the women under there. It was really, again, and I think Paul, don't know if he's caught something on the camera there as well. Be interesting to see. I'm sure he said he caught something there.
Yeah, it's amazing. Let's just catch up in a few little people that have joined us. Carol Baldwin has joined us.
Hi, Carol.
Hi, Carol. All the way from Denmark, the wonderful Heidi Hansen has joined us all the way from Denmark. Welcome along. It's been a long while since we've been on the Facebook and on the Pulse Talk, but things have been crazy over the last the end of October to the end of November has probably been our busiest time. We had 3 events crammed into said amount of time.
And then a surprise in the middle of it.
Yeah, exactly. It was crazy, but good crazy. Everything was a good crazy. So, welcome everybody that is joining us tonight. It is lovely. Finally, you're back online. We are. From about 5 weeks, I think we just haven't had a rest, have we?
No, we haven't.
David, we haven't had a rest. In about 5 weeks, we can safely say that I think the last weekend just gone was the first rest.
It's the first time, I actually sat down on a Saturday night and watched everything. I don't even know what I watched. Probably my eyelids by that time.
It was just madness. It's been a mad few weeks. But we are back. Everybody, we are back up until Christmas. We'll be here every week up until Christmas. But as I said, just for everybody who does tune in for the journey through the unexplained, we will be back after Christmas, okay? Once, as I said earlier on, our thoughts and prayers go to Paul's family at this present time. All right, I'm not going to say no more, but he knows we're all thinking of him. So when we'll be back after into the new year, all right, for the journey through the unexplained. But we're here talking about our ghostly adventures because we've got a lot of catching up to do. A lot of catching up to do. Once again, I can't. I don't know if I've blurred out Waltham Town Hall, but I can't remember Waltham.
Waltham Town Hall, right, was probably the session in my kitchen area was probably my best session this year. The best session this year by far.
Go for it.
Well, first of all, we went into, how Waltham Abbey is. The kitchen runs over that river. So there's still a river that runs under the kitchen. So I think there's a lot of energy in that kitchen for a start, just by where it's situated. And then off that kitchen is the old morgue. So we started in the kitchen and I was working with, Jay and Henry. And no, I was just Jay, I think. Actually, it was just Jay that night. And I went into this kitchen and something was stabbing me. And when I say stabbing, it was like into my side and really like I was being stabbed. Horrible. And Jay said I was looking like a monkey because all I could do was run round with one arm up in the air while the other one was being stabbed. But we got a lot of voices in there. We got a lot of voice recordings. So there's going to be something on that. And I think we've already heard some voices back on that. But then we moved into the morgue area. And there was a couple of things in there that really started to go. Because every time I talked, Lisa was filming. Only on her phone, but she was filming. And I know what your view is on Orbs. But every time I picked on somebody, but spoke about somebody, an orb would appear across them. Now that's very. So if I went to say Jane in that group, an orb would appear. If I went to Stephanie, the orb would appear. If I went to Julie, the orb would appear across Julie. But we had somebody guarding the dead. He was doing his job and guarding the dead, and that was our first part of this evidence. That's what he was doing, and he was getting very flustered. And sort of talking through Julie, and she was getting very flustered. She was getting upset. And so we asked what he wanted, and we managed to pass him. We told him he could go. He'd done his job, and that was all very good. And that was a lovely bit. I think there was tears and everything went on. So that was great. But then what happened to Julie after that? Because she invited it on, and then something appeared from the end of the room, and I knew it wasn't that great. But the next thing I know is Julie is contorted in her chair with her neck bent in the strangest way I'd ever seen it, and I had to get to her quick because it was trying to break her neck. It was actually forcing her back in a chair, and her neck was being forced down, and it was quite scary. She would tell you. And Julie will take most things, but even Julie didn't want to take that. But it was, that session alone was just probably the best session I've had for evidence this year.
Well,
and that
Matt,
takes Julie,
Maz,
do you recall it? Yeah.
Jay is asking. I take it Jay was with you in that session. Jay was with you. Julie Ray did answers. Oh yes.
Yeah. But I think Jay was the one that called it on. I think Jay brought him in. I don't know if Jay will confirm it now, but I think Jay brought him in from the kitchen into that area.
On purpose or accidentally?
I don't Jay invites things, doesn't he? He's going to listen to, not on purpose. I wouldn't say he did it on purpose, but he probably brought him into the room to listen to him.
That's good.
But Jay would have to, I'm sure Jay brought him in, or it come through Jay, and went straight beeline to Julia. And Jay will tell you that she was in the most funniest position that I'd ever seen. Nobody could do that in a chair. Nobody could. He didn't mean to. No, I know he didn't mean to. But
what was it then?
I think it was just an aggressive person. It was just aggressive, and it wanted to get to somebody. And it felt, as Julie said, I couldn't move, and it felt evil. They said my chair went backwards as well. I think your chair went backwards, but I was more concerned with your neck going backwards, to be quite honest, Julie. So I didn't know I was going to stop it. But we did stop it, and we got rid of him. Yeah, it had Jay by the throat too. Yeah. I think it's the one that stabbed me, Maz. To be quite honest, I think it all started with him stabbing me. I don't think he was a very nice person in there.
So, where could that have come from, though?
I don't know, but it came from the kitchen. It was in the kitchen. I'm sure it came from the kitchen through into that morgue bit, and then I banished him out the other way. I dealt with him in there and sent him out.
It's really odd.
Don't know where it come from or how he got in there, but I think he was the one stabbing, because and when I say stabbing, it's like a pain. If I was sitting in my front room tonight and I started to get those pains, I would have thought I was having a heart attack. It was
really?
that. Yeah. It was stabbing like I'd never felt stabbing. As soon as I got rid of it, I was fine.
It was standing in a doorway for ages watching us.
Yeah, behind Jay. Perhaps Jay was holding it off. More than inviting it in, I think Jay was probably holding it back.
And did you not find out what it was?
Just an aggressive person. It was just an aggressive man. It was a spirit man that wanted to put his effect on everybody.
He must have had a reason for that.
I don't know. I didn't have time to find out what his reason was. I just sent him on his way. But he's probably back in. Somebody would have invited back in. Definitely.
We was in there after you, I think.
Did you get anything in there? Well, you probably invited him back in.
Yeah, we had a man stand up by the sort of, not the kitchen doorway, but the other end.
Yeah.
Didn't really want to talk, to be fair, but he was quite happy to vigorously move the table.
Ah.
We did a bit of table tipping in there, and he was quite happy to move. Well, if it was an energy, but he liked the women more than anything.
Yes. Yeah. Oh yeah. It's probably, well, don't know if it was the same, but yeah, he liked the women. He was up, and he walked down the line of women, and it was just which one he was gonna have a go at. And Julie just happened to be the one.
Yeah, so we had that, but it was just very weird, very, very strange. But I have remembered one of my sessions at the Waltham Abbey Town Hall. Now, when I say it was probably one of my funniest moments of all time, okay, because we was in the judge's room, or not the judge's room, but it was the, what do you call it?
The mayor's room, yeah.
the mayor's room. So it's set out like a bit of a judge's
Yeah, it does.
courthouse, to be fair, if you could imagine it like that. So it had a row of tables in front of a big chair with 2 little chairs behind it. Okay, now we went up there, and we're I suppose looking over the last sort of couple events and how we run events, and I said this at Shepton Mallet when I sort of realised this, is that we don't do our events like you see on TV. We allow the boundaries to be pushed safely, but to a point. Okay, so, and it will lead on to obviously what happened at Shepton, because it sort of explains everything again. But with this one, we had I can't remember the lady's name. I do apologise if you are watching. But we had everybody sitting down, and we had one lady that sat in the mayor's chair with one either side. Now, Henry was, if you walked into the door, Henry was sitting on the right-hand side, looking directly at it. And the lady was sitting in the far left-hand corner, not in the circle, not around the table, but on the side chair, right out the way. Now, I do believe that the lady was she did understand the, sort of channeling and trance. So I said, well, let's play the game then. Let's go for it. If you're comfortable, let's bring this person through. So we started asking questions, and she had a real hatred for Henry. A real hatred, not with Henry as a Henry, but the energy that was with Henry. Now, they both had an argument, a spiritual argument, and then other people started to sort of get involved. Now, we had our side, and every time that sort of someone would ask a question, this lady would get really aggressive. And who are you to question me? Who are you to question me? And then Henry would say, or the energy he had was, well, she won't speak to you. He won't speak to you. And then you'd get, you don't talk to it really. And she's, honestly, the language, I can't repeat it. I generally can't repeat it.
No, you can't.
Because it was so violent. But everybody else was brought into the situation. Everyone else started to feel the situation. And we had a group at the end that it was almost like judge and jury there, but it wasn't. It was to do with the mayor and what land was owed to certain people.
Yeah.
And how he got it. It went back a long, long way. Now, other people were feeling same intrepidation as well. There was 2 that kept really quiet in the corner. And all they kept saying is, I don't have to answer. I don't have to answer. But these are people that don't normally not necessarily feel something, but they don't have, they don't feel the voice. They don't feel the energy that close. They don't feel these internal feelings. But this room become impounded by everybody feeling, and the whole scenario within the room. They felt that. And that was what was quite impressive, because we had definitely a courtroom scenario going on. Now, there was 2 trying to sort of pacify it. But no, it was the gentleman. It was Phil who was sitting in the chair at the beginning. And he left the chair and allowed a lady to go up there. Now, when he came out of the chair, he had this arrogance about him that was like, who are you talking in my room? And that's what he said. He said, I don't want you guys talking in my room. But he was himself. That's how he felt. He felt that. He said, I'm not being overtaken. He wasn't being overtaken. He said, I just got this urge to say, why don't you lot just shut up? Why are you talking? This is not what this room is for. But then if I noticed, he went to the side of the room where the money come from.
Okay.
The money side of the room. And when we started to get a little bit more, we found out that the person that Henry had with him was very high stature within Waltham Abbey, and he paid off a hell of a lot of people.
Mm.
There was a little bit like your story of Richie Rich.
Yeah.
A little bit like that, but obviously that way.
Okay.
Very weird. Very, very strange. Very strange. But it was so funny to the point that I'd never, ever in 12 years of running Essex Ghost Hunters have we had guests calling our team leaders what she called him. And it wasn't to do with the fact of that he was doing anything wrong or anything like that. He didn't do anything wrong, but he just did not. The two energies that was close to them hated each other. Hated each other.
Wow.
And it was just, and every time she opened her mouth, it was just the blaseness of it. Who are you
I
talking
suppose
to?
you will get that, won't you? You will get that. Why would it be any different? There's people on this earth plane that don't like each other, so there's going to be people in spirit plane.
But it was the story. That was
Yeah,
the thing.
yeah,
It was the story. There were two people didn't like each other on the earth plane that have obviously carried on what their so-called grudge on that plane.
Wow. Weird.
You know, it was really, really odd. Really odd, but it was so funny that, you know, still now, just thinking about it does just make me laugh. just makes me laugh because it was just so funny. Just so funny. I the more I remember it now, the more every time when Henry opened his mouth, she's just said, "Shut him up." And the more it was, the more he was speaking, but then she become agitated, like rocking in her chair, and then Henry would go back to her, but they not in their earth plane voice, sense, but in their spiritual. Yeah. And it would just get her so frustrated. And then she would go bang on the desk, and you know, it was just really intense. Brilliant. But it was so funny, and every time I laughed, I had to laugh with my back towards her because I thought she's going to come over that table in a minute. Not only is she going to rip my head off, she's going to rip Henry's head off. It was just so funny. It was funny. But very, very good evidence because everybody got something out of that.
Yeah, that's good.
It wasn't, you know, the tap-ins or the EVPs. It was physical. It was everybody in that room was feeling an over-present feel of, you know, the energy that was surrounding everybody. Everyone was sort of talking in a different tongue. Everybody, it was just so good. It was unbelievable, but even though it may have not been my best evidence, my God, was it the most funniest thing I've ever been on a ghost hunt. I don't think I've ever laughed so much in one session.
So
it was just it was funny. It was
I think that's very much part of it. I think that is part of ghost hunting because how often do we laugh in a group? It is quite common within EGH. I think there's a lot of laughter. There is.
Yes,
and I think
laughter enforces energy, doesn't it? Laughter can enforce energy.
Yes, it does.
So that is where I would draw that too. But you know, we do the basics. And when I say basics, we know we do talk, you know, to the K2s and use the K2s, and we use, you know, EVPs, and, you know, we do that. But looking at it, by God, we do push the boundaries. We do push the boundaries
yes,
when
I
it
think we
comes
do.
to allowing spirit to come close.
Yeah, I think we do. Yeah.
You know,
But then
okay,
you've got
when
to
I
have,
say,
well, you haven't got to, but surely it's a better experience that way. Well, most of the
Yes.
time. Most of the time.
yes, but it was good. It was very good. And when in Waltham Abbey, when we was at the first session at the top, it wiped out all the mums up there. All the mums, it attacked all the mums up there.
Wow.
Whatever it was doing, it put two mums on a chair. It was really weird. I do apologise for everybody who's listening to me. I'm yawning my head off at the moment, and I can't seem to stop yawning. So I do apologise for anybody. Yeah, it will sound rough. There's technical issues at the moment, so I do apologise for everybody that is having who can't hear us very well. I'll just take it down a tiny bit to see if that makes it any better. Might do, it might not. I don't know. It's just very, very weird for you. So I can't help it at the moment. So one does apologise. But
I can't hear you now. You've turned yourself too far down.
Have I gone too far down? And am I back yet? Is that better?
No, still a bit.
No. What about now? Can you hear
That's
me
a bit
now?
back. Yeah, that's all right. Yeah.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Yeah, no, it's just very random what the technology is up to at the moment. But I'll get it sorted. Don't worry, I'll get it sorted somehow. I don't want to burst anyone's bubble, but probably one of the most biggest upsets in the World Cup could be happening right at this moment.
Huh?
Because Cameroon have just scored against Brazil in the 93rd minute. In the 93rd minute. I don't know if this has any any bits to put Cameroon through.
It does, I think it does.
But I don't know. The boss. Well, I know this is a paranormal show, but the geezer has just scored an absolute crucial goal in the World Cup. He celebrated. He's got a yellow card and been sent off.
Oh, you're joking?
No. He scored a great header, an awesome goal. He celebrated in, it's the 95th minute. 95th minute, and he's no. I shouldn't carry on because it's going to wind me up, and it's a paranormal show, not a football show. But they've got a last 5 minutes of extra time. Cameroon.
Probably 10 men there,
yeah, with 10 men. But let's carry on. Where was I? Totally lost myself. But. Come on, guys, help me out. Where was I?
We were at Waltham Abbey.
I was at Waltham Abbey. Where was I talking? At the top?
At the top,
wasn't it?
the mums.
Yeah, it took all the mums out. So it was quite in depth. And I don't know why it took all the mums out, but I do remember the children hiding. So when you walked up the stairs, you walk up this in Waltham Abbey, where you go right to the loft area. So you walk up this sort of really tight, sort of crickety staircase into a set of offices. Now, right at the very end, to the right-hand side, it goes into sort of a archive room, so to speak.
That's it, yeah.
Now, Lisa was in there. I had Lisa's first group, and she was in there, and she was hiding around the corner, and it was almost like they was protecting the children, keeping eyes on children, and everything like that. Now, it knocked out each and every single, coming up the corridor from the stairs to that room, there was 4 ladies in the corridor, but not, there was Lisa and Jane, Julie and Christina was in the end. It never really got to them, but it was coming up the corridor. So it knocked out Jackie, Susan, Susan's friend, and Jane. I think Jane had to go into a separate room because she didn't feel like she wanted to be into the hall. It was very, 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 very odd, and I couldn't tell you why. The gentleman never told us why. There was an American person up there, but he was almost. How do I put it? Like a caretaker sort of style of person, more than anything. He didn't have any sort of not. When I say he didn't have any power, I don't mean it as like he didn't do anything, but he didn't have any sort of reason to be there.
Sweet.
That makes sense to you?
Yeah, well, yeah. But then
he had something, but he kept singing to me the Beach Boys song. He had something to do with the plantations over in America, the cotton fields. It had something to do with the cotton fields in America. That's what he was there for. That's what he did. But he did have something to do with the story.
Sweet.
But I couldn't place him.
See, that's been used as a lot of things. It's not always been a town hall. That's been a fire station. It's been hospital, a school at one point, I think. So
it was very odd. I couldn't grasp that top area. And the thing that annoyed me the most is I never even got to investigate the stage or the stage area.
No.
Or the hall.
No, I think Lisa did. I think Lisa, Jane, I think a few of them did there. I do think a few of them investigated that. The hall, we didn't really get to investigate a lot. We went straight into the kitchen. Most of the time spent in the kitchen and the morgue bit. But really weird. Really weird.
I just didn't. It's a really, very, very strange place.
Yeah.
Very strange place.
Yeah. It is. I can't quite make it out yet. I can't quite make that out. Sandwich Guildhall I can make out. But Waltham Abbey, I can't yet. So, and I don't know why. Sandwich Guildhall, you can. It's different.
Yeah.
But Waltham
The
Abbey.
Sandwich one, the Waltham Abbey one. The sort of the bit that throws me at Sandwich is always the main hall bit again.
Yeah.
Because it feels like you're not going to get anything, but you do get something.
Oh, yeah. Yes, you do. You certainly do.
Hold on. What was this? Julie Ray, in the hall, we had a column of warm air. Well, that's weird. So it was quite a cold evening.
Yeah.
If I remember rightly.
Yeah, it was. It was. Yes, it was.
It was quite a cold evening.
But that part was used as a hospital, wasn't it? Remember when we went there the first time?
What, the main hall?
Yes, at Waltham Town Hall.
I can't remember.
Remember when we went in there the first time? They had all the beds and all the nurses' pictures around that. They didn't have it this time, but they did the first time. And I remember that part was used as a hospital in the war. But I don't know why you'd have had a column of warm air, Julie. I can't explain that one. Don't know.
No. You know, you talk about portals, and
Yeah.
portals could be, not to say that I've had a column of warm air. They're normally pretty cold portals, but not to say they're not warm. There's nothing to say they can't be warm.
No.
Must be.
In theory, yeah.
No, there's nothing that. It's strange. It's a strange place.
Yeah.
Not as strange as some of the places we've been to, but it does give a little bit of evidence. It's a good one to sort of start off with, I think.
I think so. Yeah, and I think it's got a lot more to give. I do think it's got a lot more to give.
Yes, I think it's
Okay.
like an onion. You sort of have to peel
Yeah,
it, didn't you?
I think it's not like. If I say it's like the bunker, I don't mean it's like the bunker. I mean there's a lot of layers in the bunker that you peel off.
Yeah.
You peel off to get to the new layer. Yeah. Wolf
Yeah,
maybe
it's a weird one.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I doubt we'll go back. So
Yeah.
watch your space.
We've but one thing I haven't announced to you guys that we have added a new event to next year. We are going back to Langard Fort
Woohoo!
next year. Don't ask me the dates, I couldn't tell you. I suppose I better find the date because
I'll
you lot
find it.
will
Let me have a
all
look.
tell me off if I don't. I can let you know. It is on
October,
the
isn't it?
7th of the 10th. The
October.
7th of October 2023, we are heading back to Langard Fort. So if you want to join us, you're welcome to join us at Langard Fort. I'll just do you a quick rundown to everything. Unfortunately, guys, the bunker has been sold out. So there is no more tickets available for the bunker. We've got HMS Warrior on the 13th of the 5th next year. Now, if you haven't heard about HMS Warrior, it is a ship that is in the historic dockyard. So please make sure you pop down to there.
And recently, that's been found that demons are on board, isn't it? As well.
Oh, yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Something like that. The demonic is on board.
Yes. Be good, wouldn't it, Julie?
It would be good. Don't tell Julie whatever you're doing. Whatever you do. We've got 3 tickets left for North Weald Station, guys. That is on the 8th of the 7th. Only 3 tickets left for that. If you want to join us at Slough Fort, the 12th of the 8th, you can join us there. There is only 15 tickets available for Slough Fort. Okay, only 15. It's a small little venue, so make sure you get your
Just
tickets.
say Slough
available.
Fort is in Kent, not Slough.
Yeah, it's in Kent. Slough
Yeah.
Fort. We are heading to a brand new venue that the team hasn't done before, Hitchin British Schools Museum, the 9th. So that one, we've never been there. I can't give you anything. But yes, it looks, Simon, you're one that you're quite interested in this next year.
Looks awesome. It actually looks awesome. And from what I've heard and what I've seen, only in when we were first going after it, there's a lot of activity there, and apparently you see lots of things. It's known for seeing things rather than hearing things. You actually see apparitions, you see shadow figures. So that's well worth looking out for that one. So
Interesting.
It's big as well.
Place.
Big.
Yeah. And there will be a couple more added over the next few weeks, guys. We're just waiting for confirmation back. One that we're just waiting for payment to be, and then we'll tell you, but it's a new one that we've never done before. But until everything is done and dusted, I can't give it away just yet. Thank you, Heidi. Cameroon are out of the World Cup, even though they just won. Brazil is still in the World Cup. Well, we didn't want Brazil still in the World Cup. We wanted them out because if we did get to some sort of final, it could be because the Brazilians, and we don't want to. But say,
Hold on, Cameroon are just beating them.
And they were playing quite a full strength team, to be fair. You can't knock them. You can't knock them. But hey ho. Let's see. It's all about Sunday. For anyone that's listening in the UK, it's all about Sunday at 7 o'clock. That's all that needs to happen. Sunday at 7 o'clock. Everyone support England in this moment. I know the Welsh and the Scottish won't, but we can. We'll probably be crying in our eyelids by this time.
No, not Sunday. I think it might be the next round. But we'll be all right Sunday.
Well, you never know. You never know. Right. So we're going to move on. We're going to move on to the last event that we did of the year. Okay. The last event, we all headed down to Shepton Mallet. We stayed in probably one of the most loveliest little cottages that we've ever stayed in.
Yes.
To be fair.
It was brilliant. It was brilliant.
It was a beautiful little place. Even better that I don't know if Sandra's still listening, but she had her own little annex herself.
Yeah.
But it was an amazing little hidey hole. It was beautiful. So it was just
haunted. Yeah. Of course
it was haunted. Not as haunted as some of them that we've had.
No, but it seemed hold on. It was as haunted as some of them. It was just haunted in a nicer way than some of them. I would say this one. Yeah. This one did.
This one didn't. Not to say any of them give me the heebie-jeebies, but this one was one of them places that I relaxed in rather than ever worry. Not say I worry about it, but I just this one made me relax more than anything.
Mrs. A, that is bad. Just read the comments if you can, Russ, because she should have told us.
This is the best evidence of the year. Let's have a look. She had Spirit knocking to go into her annex. How do you know it was Spirit? Could have been a cat. Could have been a fox.
There was some strange lights. There was some strange look.
Oh, I can't put that because it's got swear words on it. I can now say that the annex scared the out of. Oh, behave! You're supposed to be a paranormal
investigator. But she didn't tell us at the time. She did not tell us at the time. Yeah, but she was out there on her own.
She was
out there on her own.
It could have been quite easy. It could have been a cat, wiping its feet as it's either having a piss. It scrapes its feet, so it go on the wall. Why didn't you just tell us?
She didn't tell us, Maz.
2 cats. Yeah, right. I said 2 cats.
We would have sent Maz across with you.
Yeah, quite easy. Quite easy. Would have sent. Christina said she would stay with Sandra. So it couldn't have been that scary. Oi. Right, so we know what we've got to do for our next adventures away. We've got to now find one with an annex so we can put Mrs. A in the annex again.
Oh, that could be arranged.
No, it was a lovely little cottage. For me, and obviously she thought it was us. Well, probably was, and the cats, and some cats.
Yeah, but what moved that torch? I still...
I genuinely don't know. I genuinely don't know. I don't know.
I still think
where I don't know where the torch was.
No, nor do I actually.
I don't know if it was in my bedroom. It was my torch. She's at the shop. The torch is at the shop. Said torch is at the shop.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. But the thing is, the only thing that I would say, what's the point of it if not being scared? That's the truth, Mrs. A. I like that comment. What's the point of being a paranormal investigator and not being scared?
Yeah.
Not being scared.
Yeah, okay. I'll take
I
that.
like it. But the only thing I would say, because the torch was flashing, it was quite an instantaneous flash when I saw it. Because I found the torch, and it was because obviously my torch has got that red bit that flashes. If you press the button, it flashes red. You can put it on the top of your car, as a safety thing. But it just was there. It was just there. And I'm pretty much sure, because obviously we sat on that chair facing that door, so to speak, on the side where the door was open. I don't think Jay and Maz would have potentially saw it, or Sandra, but me, you, and Chrissy would have seen that. And we didn't. It just was there when I was there. That flashing we would have picked up on.
Yes.
So that was pretty weird. Pretty weird.
Yeah.
I wasn't here for this day. I went down and
I did get locked in the bathroom. I couldn't get out of the bathroom, and I was calling out, but Maz and Sandra were too busy talking, so they wouldn't have heard me anyway. But I literally couldn't get out of the bathroom. It was like the door was locked, and I was knocking for about 5 minutes, and all of a sudden I went to the latch, and it opened. Really weird. Johnny was laughing, yeah. I bet he bloody was.
Well, we saw the start of the flashing from under the door. But that's what I'm saying.
So we must have all been in that room then. So nobody could have put it out there.
I genuinely can't remember. I remember going there and going to the toilet. That's how I picked the torch up. But I don't know. It's one of them things. I generally don't know. I do not know about the torch. If it's paranormal, that is, you go, great, bring it on. Absolutely bring it on.
But was that the same night as we got the message?
No.
It wasn't.
No, I think that would have been the Friday night. The Friday night, because we
I don't know. I thought it was the same night we got the message.
No, I think it was the Friday night.
I can't remember. To be quite honest, I can't remember.
Because the torch was in my bag, and I never took my bag Saturday.
It's weird. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, because I never had a torch with me at Shepton. I never had a torch with me at Shepton. I'm naughty because I forget to take my torches. The ensuite latch was getting played with one night too.
Yeah, well, it couldn't play with mine because I put my case across the door. So if anything came through the door, I'm going to trip over my case.
Honestly, that I did not feel intimidated in that cottage one iota. I felt very calm and very peaceful within that cottage. We've stayed in a lot of cottages. It was hot, but the worst cottage was in Wales.
Yeah.
When Kim come with us. Not to say Kim made it bad, by the way. It was just
probably
the weekend that Kim. It was, so I can put it to that. That was just. I just was on edge all the time.
Was that Hag 1 and Hag 2 cottage?
Yeah, Hag 1 and Hag 2 cottage. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was probably the worst one we'd stayed in. The one with the other annex.
That was good.
Not to say that I was on edge, but you knew something was there. This cottage, I could walk quite easily around it, not thinking I was in a haunted place.
Yeah.
That's how I found that cottage. There was, you I had to link in there before it come haunted for me.
Yeah.
Like the other places that we've stayed in, you walk in, you don't have to link in. It's haunted.
Yeah.
But this one, I felt that I had to sort of concentrate to find out if it was haunted or not.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
It was not scared, was calm. It was lovely. It was a lovely feel to it.
Yeah.
The first time I've ever stayed in a thatched house as well. All of you covered your mirrors. All of you had problems with the mirrors, didn't you?
I just put my towel over the mirror to get it dry.
I slept next to the mirror. I kept looking at it in the night.
Did you see
To
anything?
make sure I was... No, I just kept going like that. I didn't see anything. It was too dark to see anything. It was lovely and dark. That's the best thing about staying in these places, isn't it? You sort of
It's
stay
dark.
in the middle of nowhere,
Yeah, it's pitch. Yeah, it is pitch black.
and if you've got no light, it's lovely. It's lovely. You don't, you don't get. Well, there was no tellies in the room, so you don't get, the on and off button, or there was, it was lovely. It was really dark.
Mind you,
and
did
I
have a
liked
bit of
that.
sloping floorboards,
Oh.
didn't you?
The floor was the worst thing. That was the worst thing. I laid down for 5 minutes, had a snooze. Oh, and I got up, and that was it. That was it. I was gone. I tried to get up, and I thought I was pissed as a newt. It was like walking through the crooked house in Southend-on-Sea.
Yeah.
It was awful. It just all slopes to the left-hand side. But no, let's move on to the obviously the last event of the year, Shepton Mallet Prison. Great for stargazing, absolutely, Carol, absolutely.
Yeah.
It would have been perfect for that if it wasn't so bloody cold. It really would.
The pub was good, yes, mate. The pub was
Haunted pub.
Yeah, it was haunted. That was severely haunted.
To be fair, I think it was more of the journey home with 4 people in the back of a car that was more the funniest. It's all the comment of the thing is, Sandra, just put your hands between my legs and shut the door. But no, it was really, really nice. The pub, the food was lovely as well. The food was beautiful. The banana, Sandra.
Sandra.
Oh, the poor viewers would turn off in quick succession. Keep like that. But no, let's get to.
What about Babatunde?
Let's get to the main goal of it all: Shepton Mallet Prison.
Yeah.
Simon, I'll start off with yours. What was your highlight bit?
I've probably got about 3 or 4, to be honest. I think the first session we did with Matt. Was that our first session or our second session? Probably our second session, and Matt sort of took over, but he was saying what he thought towards the women, and it was in the women's.
Get taken over, yeah,
he did. So that was very good. I think the Pauline, the guest situation, one of our guest situation, made me think, and it's made me think for 2 weeks afterwards, to be honest. About
very intelligent, intelligent spirit.
Brilliant spirit, yes. And the more I think about it, the way that tried to get out was absolutely superb. And then I know you went to sleep, but it was pouring down that night, and the footstep out of the water, I've never seen anything like it before, and I probably never will. The only place I'd seen anything like it was when Most Haunted were on the ship in America, and the swimming pool, and the footsteps come out of it. But there was one footstep coming out of this water, facing the wrong way, and none of us had walked there. So, yeah, that was probably... There were so many highlights. Did it scare me? No, it didn't scare me. But I think I could never tell if I was getting an honest answer, and they made me laugh there. They always, the inmates there, always make me laugh. For some reason, I just get a fit of the giggles. And then the fight at the end was probably, again, another big highlight because I've never had to hold somebody.
We'll catch on that in a minute.
Yeah.
We'll finish off with that one.
Okay.
But we'll just go to Maz. The piano played in the chapel. Sandra's put, in our first group, we had the piano playing on its own. Think someone has it on film. Second group, we spoke to a security guard that wasn't there. He just disappeared. The whole group saw him. The third, it's actually the fourth group, Sandra, not the third group. It was the fourth group that you had no comment, but we'll catch on that one. But the security guard one is really strange.
And I think we've had that before. I think we had that back on the first time we ever went there when Paul and Scott were guests, and we saw a security guard walk along and walk into a door when we were outside having it's the time I smoked. So that's how long ago I'm going back. But we were smoking and we saw a security guard and we went and got the woman and said, there's a security guard. She said, there's nobody in the place. She said, there is nobody. So that could have well been him, Sandra, actually. I never knew never knew that you'd seen the security guard. So.
They actually spoke to him. We actually spoke to him to say...
Did he reply?
We'll come back to that because there's a delay. Remember, there's a delay. There's Julie Ray, and the table tipping in the chapel was brilliant. Can't remember the table tipping, can I? I must have been there. So I was in the chapel with you. Yeah, he said he was okay. So he actually replied.
Really weird. Really weird.
He just disappears. The table tipping in the chapel. Julie, could you elaborate? I can't remember it off the top of my head.
Was I there? Were we there?
Yeah, they was our group in the chapel. I'm sure they were. I'm sure it. I'm positive of it. The priest murdered the children.
Yeah.
Yes. I remember very, very well. The answers that we were getting were disgustingly horrid. But he answered the table. He tipped the table for yes to one side, no to the other side. My God, I remember it now. I remember it now. It was so precise. It was literally left and holding yes or right, no, left, no, or whatever it was. Remember it holding brilliantly. Yeah, really good. Really good.
I never knew. Do you know what? It wasn't. I never knew there was a confession room in there, confession box in that chapel.
Yeah, it was that little room with the two little chairs in it.
Never went in there.
A little door that.
Did you go in
I
there?
never went in there. No, I never went in there, but I poked my nose in there. The door's open, my nose goes in it.
Yeah, perhaps that's where I should have been. But yeah,
but you wouldn't have got anybody in it. You'd only got one person in it.
So I wanted to confess.
Confess your sins. Holy Mary, Mother of God. Matt saw someone standing in the confession box.
I think Matt's got some good vocal evidence as well throughout.
So, you know, to build up to what, you know, probably what the pinnacle was, didn't have that long sigh. But when we say we pushed the boundaries, so the last session we was in Block D, I believe.
I think we should go back to the guests though, or were you going to do that in a minute?
The guests?
The one guest that...
Oh, Pauline, yeah?
Yeah.
But it might scare the living daylights of anyone who's thinking of booking.
No, I think we should tell the story because don't forget you're in a prison that it's going to be worse in that situation.
Yeah, we had a radio message come through from one of our team leaders to say that they'd lost a guest. Okay, don't worry, guys. If within 12 years of running EGH, it's the first time that we have physically lost a guest. Okay, but there was a whole story to how this losing the guest actually ends. Now, when I got the radio message, I left Simon straight away, and went straight to Sandra's area. Now, Sandra and her team were in a bit of a panic, but if she had everything under control, she had everyone, apart from this one guest, back into the centre of the room, and we was all calling out. We'd all went through every cell there was, but still not in her area. So I then joined up. We'd done another full search of every cell. We called. We had everybody shouting. And I thought, well, I better go back to the mess room just in case she'd made her way back to the mess room. Now I get back to the mess room, and there was the guest sitting there looking very vacant. And I look at her and I say, Pauline, are you okay? And she answered, I want to go home. I want to go home. Where's home, Pauline? Round the corner. Well, Pauline lives in Essex. At this moment, we're in Shepton, just the other side of Bristol. So at this point, straight away, that I knew that Pauline wasn't Pauline. And she kept saying, I want to go home. I just want to go home. After a little bit of a to-ing and fro-ing, that Pauline began to sort of start coming back to the here and now. And to cut a long story short, that there was a energy there that wanted to escape, wanted to get out, and it
What a clever way to try and do it.
Everybody.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't. There was only there's a couple of ways back, but Pauline said she don't know a way back. It's hard enough. Right. About 3 of us.
And she'd have had to pass somebody. She'd have had to pass a group.
Yeah.
Would have heard her. Would have seen her.
Exactly. But never.
No.
This energy took her to directions that obviously knew where everybody was, and just took her out. But thankfully, that the lady in charge of the evening who opened up for us, one of her rules of thumb is that the only time she ever opens them gates is on the say-so of one of the team leaders. That is it. That is it. Well, she wouldn't open the gates until we said so. So she made her wait in the chapel, made her wait in the bedroom. And the more you think about it, the more that I don't know how she got back. No,
that's a scary thing. But he obviously knew his way. He obviously knew his way around that prison, which... Yeah. And what a clever way of trying to get out of there.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant.
Fantastic. Very, very clever energy.
Yeah.
Very, very, very clever energy.
Brilliant.
But, it's this lesson's taken on board. It's something that we have to do. Marvin, I'm going to have to give Sandra, what do they call it? The little things they put on children's wrists. I'm going to have to do that for Sandra to make sure that she keeps all her guests in line.
Yeah.
But I do think that I might have slightly got my own back somewhere along the line on Mrs. A after that, don't you think?
Probably, yeah, but yeah, probably you did, but not a nice thing to do, really.
Well, you don't know about that. Well, I never asked them to fight. At no point did I ask them to fight.
Yeah, but you knew that was going to happen. In that particular thing.
Because, no. That's where you're absolutely wrong. Because Sandra would not come anywhere near me when I was on that side of the cell. Nowhere near me. So let's start off with, go from the beginning. I can't just jump into it because it was... So we now go into D block. Okay, that is for anybody who wants to know about D block. It is where the Krays were held. Okay, that's where the Krays were held. That was their wing. So we go in now, and we go, and because it was Pauline's group, I said to Simon, I'm going to just go with them to make sure Pauline is all right, and left Simon on his own with his group, which was fine, wasn't it?
Yes.
The guest comes important more than, Simon is capable to do. So I said, look, because it was Sandra was going into D wing, probably the most active wing of the lot, I just thought, okay, I just need to keep my eye on and go from there. Now, we was getting a little bit, we was putting them in the cells, trying to keep them quiet, trying to agitate a little bit. And then all of a sudden, there was this devise. Okay, there was this devise happening, and there was, on one side, there was me, Lisa, Pauline, Andy, looking at Julie, Christina, Cheryl, and Sandra, but she was up in the left-hand corner. Okay, away. And at that point, I knew Sandra wasn't Sandra. But I was saying, what's wrong, Sandra? So I was agitating for them. She would not come anywhere near me. Every time I walked around, she would walk away from me. Okay? Split. It was just, wherever I went, she went opposite. Okay? So I went over to one side, and then I went back to Lisa, and I went over to Julie's side to face Lisa's side. Okay? And I felt more empowered over their side. And as I say, Mazzy's right. That's how I felt. I felt that intimidation. I felt I could, everything, they didn't care what it didn't matter what people were saying to me. I never give a flying monkeys. That's all they kept saying in my ear. Why give a monkeys? I run it. He gave me the name of Reginald, which I'm assuming would be Reggie. His full name would, as far as I was aware. But that's all he would give me, Reginald. But all of a sudden, I saw you come through the door on the right-hand side, going back into the base room. You come out. We even spoke. He went, "Yeah, I'm okay," but I thought you'd said you're lost. So I said to Sandra and Maz, Simon's lost. I better go down to see if you're okay. So I walked down, but you didn't. You was just saying I'm on my way back.
Yeah.
So when I spoke to you, you said, "No, I'm not lost. I'm just taking them back." So I went back. But on my way out, I said to Cheryl or Julie, one of you pick up that energy that I've left there. One of you do it. Okay? Julie passed the buck very quickly to Cheryl. Cheryl took the energy on. Now, at this point, Sandra had made her way to the opposite side of where I was standing. Okay, so she was with Lisa, Andy, and everything. And it's all you kept saying. Every time I questioned her, he said, "What's the point? What's the point? What's the point? That's all that Sandra would say. Wouldn't answer me. Wouldn't. As soon as Cheryl took on the energy, it all changed. Now, this is where probably I pushed the boundaries far too much of it. Down the bottom, remember, we're on now the second floor or the first floor, however you want to call it, of the second row of cells. Now, underneath us, there was Maz, Jackie, and her 4 guests. I got them to start goading. And I got them to shout out, fight, 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 fight. Well, at this point, Sandra come hurtling around the corner, and Cheryl then wanted to get to Sandra. I was okay at this point because I was in the middle of them, and nothing could really go on. Now, I asked Lisa to come round to give me a hand. I think I don't quite know where Julie was at this point, but all of a sudden, they both just went for it. I was stuck in the middle of it, but I couldn't help but laugh. I had a fit of giggles in the middle of it because I've got now Lisa trying to pull Sandra away. I've got poor old Pauline in the middle that honestly was trying to push Sandra away. I had Cheryl kneeing me in the back to try and get to Sandra. Now, hook by crook, I got the radio. Hook by crook, I got the radio out from the back, wherever it was, and I'm going, Simon, you need to get here quick.
Yeah, cheers, mate.
Quick. Well, it was more the fact I couldn't split them. That was my issue. Well, all of a sudden, Henry and Simon come running in, and it's all the next thing I saw. I think Henry just picked up Cheryl and dragged her away.
No, it was me. I got Cheryl because he couldn't. Henry, she went for Henry, I think, and he said something. So I just got hold of Cheryl and said, "Right, come with me." So I just took her in a cell and just said, "Right, I want you to pass that spirit into my hands. That's the only way I could get rid of it."
Well,
mate, she was as strong as any man I'd ever felt. As strong as any man.
You tried taking a knee in the back.
Oh, mate, I was, yeah.
Well, I threw Sandra into a cell. You threw Sandra into a cell. And we, obviously, with a bit of hooker by crook, we managed to get them back normally.
Yeah.
Now, I take all responsibility for it. I really do. I do. There's nothing I can say. And when I walked back in there, both of them give me the most dirtiest looks you'd ever looked at. But it did make me laugh. I couldn't help it. It was
I think that's what that place does to you.
It was funny. I couldn't help it. It was. I know it was. Julia's put it. The fight was so funny, even though it was serious. You sum that up perfectly. You absolutely sum it up. But it didn't help. It was, my fault completely again. I got Mazzy's group to shout out, fight. Well, it just lifted that energy. It just rocketed that energy up. And it just went. And it was two forceful energies just clashing. Now, Cheryl had what we believe was potentially one of the craze.
Yeah, could have been. Could have been.
You know, the fear factor there.
Very strong. Whatever it was strong.
I can't remember what the name was that Sandra was saying. I think it was Jack or John. If you're
Johnny or something.
Yeah, if you're still listening, Sandra, let us know.
Johnny, was it Johnny? I've got Johnny from somewhere, but
yeah, it was Johnny or Jack or something like that.
Johnny,
I think. There you go. Now it just went, but you felt the energy in that room change. You felt it change. It went from the moment to the actual go. And it was so straight because it happened so quickly.
Yeah.
But it must have come from a point of call because Sandra was not talking to me when I had the energy.
But it's really weird because it went like that the previous time, didn't it? Sort of thing. It is that place. Again, it is that place. And I think you can go in there and quite easily stir it up to fight. And I think we did it with clapping before. It was all clapping and banging and that, wasn't it?
Yeah. Now, people could, say, why don't you show them respect? What gives them, they're in prison. What really right do I should give them respect? In sensible terms, they've been there, their punishment. But you're trying to get evidence. You've got to push the boundaries. In my eyes, there's certain things that you don't do and you do. But boundary pushing, when it comes, I didn't pick two new people to the paranormal world. I picked two people that have been around the paranormal world for quite a while, are capable of doing it.
Yeah.
Okay, I never foresee the fight. I was expecting a slanging match, but that happened.
Man, it would have done. As it would have done, though.
Yes, it played out as a potential riot.
Yeah, and the thing was, the perpetrators would have been also put back in their cells, which, in theory, is what you did to one and I did to the other.
Yes. Yeah. It took a long time to get Sandra back. It took a long time. That's not Sandra's fault. It is the energy is so strong in there. It was so strong in there.
So strong and so, what's the word? Not sneaky.
Aggressive?
I don't think they are sneaky. I think they're probably very clever.
Yeah, and sneaky.
Yeah, they're sneaky and they're in their environment. That's the thing. They're in an environment that's what it was like.
Yes, but when I say sneaky, they're very sneaky.
Yeah, but they would be, wouldn't they?
Yes, but this is to a point of energies trying to escape.
Yeah.
To the point of, how I use the situation is that both energies waited for me to relinquish my energy.
Yeah.
Sandra was coming nowhere near me when I had that energy.
Yeah. But
now, I'm not saying, at no point am I saying that, but I didn't know at that point that energy had an issue with me. As in a way, why didn't it attack me? The energy that was with Sandra was very, very, very not nonchalant, but like she wouldn't talk to me. She wouldn't say anything, and when I did question it, it was, why bother? Why bother? When I had that energy, why bother? Why bother? But as soon as I come back and I'd relinquished the energy, it was like, clash. Both of them went. And I mean, it took, what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, potentially 6 people to break that up. Not only have we got the energy of the human, but the energy of the spirit portraying that human.
Yeah.
It was strong. It was strong.
But you think about it, some of them energies there would have spent 25 years there. They would have spent their life there, or best part
Probably
of it.
longer.
Yeah, yeah, and some would have died there.
Yeah, definitely.
So that's all they saw. So any chance of them getting out, they're going to take. They're going to take.
But
That's brilliant. It's brilliant. It was brilliant.
Very, yeah, Julie, the fight was so funny, even though it was serious. I couldn't agree more with you. I could not agree more. I think both Sandra and Cheryl done really well. And I say that in a sense of how they allowed it to happen. They allowed them to just release it and let other people see what can happen.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes, it's boundary pushing. Did I expect it to go to full-blooded riot? No, I didn't. I expected
You're a prison. You should have done. You should have done that. At the end of the day, you should have done because you were in a place where it was and nothing to happen.
But then I also
it happened last time in many ways. It happened last time,
but it never happened as closely as this did.
No, agree. But in saying that, something did run past all of us that last time. All of us felt it go past to try and get to Jan Coram at the end, who were provoking, who were again giving it large.
Yeah, but it didn't. It didn't. That's what this one had. I think it was because we was more in a smaller group.
Maybe.
That's how I see it.
If you were though. We weren't in a large group last time. I don't know.
But you had everybody there. We had 16 guests plus the team leaders in the last group.
Not when me and Henry were running it, we didn't. When they went down to get Joe and Coram. No, it was just...
But the last time we was there, when we had Sandra again going, when we had Julie crying, we had everything going. That was when we put everybody in at the end.
Yeah, but no, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about a situation before that.
Oh, I didn't know that. I don't know that.
Yeah, there was a situation. Me, Henry. I can't even remember the guests. But yeah, it did happen. So I think it's that sort of place. If you want to cause that, you'll cause it there, which is good.
Yeah,
it's good.
Yeah,
we didn't get that in Shrewsbury, did we? We've done Shrewsbury prison. We didn't get that.
But I don't know. I would have tried it if the energy felt that it was there to do it.
Yeah, Shepton's got that feel. Shrewsbury didn't.
This is we can all go into trance. We can all channel at any place that we chose to, but that one doesn't necessarily give you a chance.
No.
You know, when you walk within it, that you have to watch how the energy approaches you, how it comes to get you.
Yeah. I'd like to try probably Dorchester, because again, it's a different prison, isn't it?
You've got another one, Gloucester prison as well.
Yeah.
There's a couple of prisons. I'd like to take people to Little Dean Prison as well, but I don't know.
That's for different reasons.
Yeah, that's for crazy reasons. But if anyone is in the if anyone is in the Gloucester area for a holiday and you are ghost hunters, please make sure you check out Little Dean Prison or Little Dean Jail, because it is a freaky place. Julie Ray says, when can we go back? It won't be next year. Let's just say that we're fully booked for next year. We can't get back next year. It may be the year after if it calls.
Well, we might do a different prison. We might do a different prison the year after. Dorchester, Gloucester, one of those. But Shepton is unique. I'll grant you that. I'd do Shepton. I would do Shepton again. Drop of a hat, I'd do it. I would.
Oh yeah, I think it's a lovely venue.
Yeah.
You get a lot for you get a lot to it.
Yeah.
You get a hell of a lot to it. It's one of them that you should do. You know, I know it's expensive, and our ticket prices probably a little bit on the high side for that, but we only take a certain amount of people. We was oversubscribed last time, but that was just due to family members and other things that happened. But it is a massive feel. That place has a real good energy to it. When I say that in a strange way. When I say it has a good feel to it, I say it as in a way of for paranormal investigations, it's got all of it.
Yes, it does. Yes, yeah, it does, because it's
it's got all of it.
Yes.
And that's what I like about it. I wonder what would happen if we had no protection there. Well, I think you saw it.
Yeah. I don't think it's a case of having no protection.
Once you've invited it, that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. But once again, it's your own. For me, knowing how sort of trance channeling works, I could give you a good couple of minute warning that something's not right quite easily.
Yeah,
I know nothing would jump through me there. So it is a weird place. It is a weird. Good night, Carol.
Good night, Carol.
Thank you for joining us. So it's just such a good little place.
Yeah.
A little place, massive place.
Yeah. Massive, yeah, it is.
And there's certain bits we didn't even do. We didn't do
the oldest bit.
You didn't do the oldest bit.
Yeah.
You managed to get to the gatehouse, didn't you, at the end of the evening?
Yes. Yeah.
So, there's still little bits there you never got to do,
I'd like to do the kitchen. I'd like, if it hadn't have been raining, I'd like to do the yard. I think there's probably a lot in that yard.
Yeah.
But perhaps when we next go back in the summer.
In the summertime.
Yeah, when the weather is fine and it's a little bit warmer.
Yeah.
Imagine that place. You imagine that place with an electrical storm. That would be absolutely brilliant. That
was still the best night was the seance night with that storm. You could not have written that. You could not have written that. But no, that was the highlight of, probably a good ending. Once again, Cheryl and Sandra, if you are listening or watching, I do apologise, but I only apologise in the faintest of ways that what happened. But for evidence-wise, I think it was second to none. It was second to none.
If any of our guests that were there, they did actually get scared of the bowling situation. It doesn't happen very often. It really doesn't. Because I know.
Well, it's the first time it's happened in 12 years.
Yeah. It's just that place.
It's a very, very strange place.
Yeah. It's a one-off.
It is a one-off.
It is.
But, saying all that, guys, if you want to join us, if you want to come and join us, if you want to try and experience this yourself, you know, we've got HMS Warrior on May the 13th, North Weald, July the 8th, Slough Fort, 12th of August, September the 9th, we've got the British School Museum, and then we've got the 7th of October, Landguard Fort.
There will be a few others in there as well.
Yeah. Did anyone film the fight? No. Nope. Only like a train had hit me in the morning. Well, you would have, because it's trance, Sandra. It's trance. You would feel like a train had hit you.
I don't think it was a train. I think it was Cheryl.
Yeah. Well, no, it's probably me. It's probably me not hitting her, but but even though that is, Sandra, we can't confirm it's not 100% accurate of what happened, but Sandra did have as if they were cuff marks on her wrist.
Yes, she did. Yes.
But that's not to say that I didn't hold her and push her into the cell via her arms. You know, I don't know at what point where I held her to put her in. Oh, please, I need this audio. Julie, please do not throw this audio. Whatever you do not throw this audio. That'd be a great one.
Have you listened to it, Julie? Julie, have you listened to that audio? Hopefully.
But I don't think they say too much apart from.
Yeah, but I'm thinking of, did she pick up anything else?
Yeah, still, I still want it for the funny bit of it.
Not yet.
Oh, please, Julie, make sure you get round to looking at it. Right, guys, we have come towards the end of the show. Thank you ever so much for everybody that has joined us over on Facebook, YouTube, Pulse Talk Radio. I know sound quality hasn't been great, but I will address that next week, okay? I'll make sure it is looked at this week. I'll make sure that, to be fair, I'll probably look at it straight after the show because it will annoy me. You know that.
We've got a guest on next week as well.
Oh, yes, we have. You're going to ask me who it is. I don't know. And I'm going to be...
Dave. We've got somebody, Dave Schrader.
There you go.
Experienced paranormal investigator and host of the Paranormal podcast. So he's on Channel and Discovery, UK's hit TV series, The Holster Files and Ghost of Devil's Perch.
Oh, The Curse of Lizzie Borden and The Demon White House. Oh, I know this guy.
So that's who we've got on next week. So, yeah, should be a good one.
Oh, I know him. That's it. I ain't got to worry then. So I thought, wow. We've got a wow. So everybody seems to know him. So, yeah, he's joining us next week. So all good in the hood. But no, thank you ever so much for joining us. It's nice reminiscing sometimes, isn't it?
Well, you think about it, it's just in the last 6 weeks, really. That's all happened within sort of 6 weeks to 2 months.
The craziest 5 weeks.
It has. Well, when was the Guildhall? End of October. Yeah. And now we're not.
That's it.
Yeah.
That is it. It was only last week that Lisa has been listening in as well. I want to say thank you to Lisa for helping the situation in the cells as well. But no, nice to reminisce. It is lovely to reminisce, but it has been really, really tough going over the last sort of 5 weeks. I don't know if I'm coming or going, to be fair. It just feels like I need to get to Christmas to get a week off. That's how I feel at this moment. But no,
I'm sure we'll be doing something before Christmas.
I know we will be, but still, I know that my time comes on Sunday when I can actually not have to wake up and do anything Sunday morning. I can just wake up naturally and do nothing. And I'm looking forward to that moment. So it'll be the first Sunday for a while. That's Was it? That's
It's
old
old
age
age
for
for
you.
you,
Right?
Russ.
How about you? What? You wait. I'm watching you, Mrs. A. I'm watching you. I'm watching you. So everybody, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank old age. Yes. Thank you ever so much, everybody. Will we be next? We will be. Oh, I can't get me bloody words out.
We'll be back
We'll
next week.
Yes, with Dave Snyder joining us live on the EGH Paranormal Talk Show. Take care, everybody. Stay safe, and we'll see you next week. Take care, everybody. Thank you ever so much for everybody that has joined us over on Facebook and YouTube. Take care, stay safe, and we'll see you next week.